Okay, this is my third try with this video. He does not want to stay down. He wants to be up here today. And I really want to get this done. Um, Come here, baby. At least turn around this way, okay? So everybody can see you. There we go, right there. Get a little bit. There you go. We're gonna do a tutorial on this grunge flower. It's basically like the Tim Holtz grunge flower. I just do things a little bit differently. So I want to show you how I do these, and these are stamped. Sonny wants to play with them. I use the Cricut cartridge, the Serenade cartridge, right there, and I use the the 6 petal flower. The sun's shining outside today. Woohoo! But it's shining right through my window. This 6 petal flower is what I use. Okay. I'm sure you could do it with more petals, like the purple one next to it, but I use the 6 petal right there. Or is that the 5 petal? Hold on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I used the 5 petal. I'm sorry about that. I used the 5 petal flower. That's what I use. So, let's get started. This is fairly simple. I think you guys know the basics of making these. Okay. Here's 2 already done. Okay. I take, obviously cut them out. This was 2.5 inch, the 2.5 inch flowers. So, because I used the scissors, they cut down. So, let me show you. First thing you do, I cut them out. And then before I do anything else, I take the scissors, whatever scissors I choose. I like these squiggly ones because they're interesting to me. Can you see that? Yeah, the squiggly ones right there. And then I cut around all the flowers. And then I take, and the paper is originally blue. I believe that's aqua. At least I hope it is. I'm kind of colorblind, so I do my best. And then I like to put more dimension in the flower, so if you can see that's supposed to be purple there. And I put this around the petals to start with. Broken china to give that a little bit darker color, if you see that. And you just take your dauber and you go scooting it around the edges like this. Okay. And then I went with really hard on finding bright colors of purples because of the color blindness. So I know that's purple because it says royal purple on it. So I went ahead and I used my Stays On Royal Purple for the outside there. And then I used Tim Holtz's Walnut Stain with one of his stamps. I don't have the stamps with me, but you can see the word stamps. And I usually do the front and the back of the stamp, only because I don't know which ones I'm going to be cutting out that are going to end up being small on that part and small on the one piece. And those I want both sides done. So I just go ahead and stamp them all. And then what I do is I cut the pieces out. Obviously you cut your first one down the center. Okay, oops, I'm showing the wrong one already. My bad, I'm sorry about that, ladies. You cut the first one down the center, like this, okay? Hey, baby. And then you cut 1 petal off the second one. You snip each side and boom, you cut that petal off, okay? And this is kind of hard with my baby wanting attention, but that's okay, we'll get through this. Then you take your third petal. I only use 3 flowers on each one, okay? You cut down 2 petals on each side and boom, you have another set, okay? Now, what I do next that most people, I'm not sure if anybody does this, but I do it because it makes it easier for me. I take my punch, my paper punch, Okay, this paper punch, it's the bigger hold one, okay? And I insert it. Let me get one that's not done yet. Come on now. I insert it here to the center of the cut. See how that's cut? I insert it to that cut center where it ends. And I put a hole there. And sometimes I'll make it a little bit bigger. I think it's going to need to be bigger. There's your hole. Okay, I do that on all the flowers. And I'll show you why I do that in a minute, okay? Boom, boom, boom. Do that on each of your flowers and do it on your double petal here. Your double petal here. Go ahead and do it on there too, see? Right there. And do it on the single one too. See? Come on now. I want to show this right so everybody can see it. My big hand's in the way. There we go. Okay, that part's done. Let me put these aside. I'm going to show you what I do with it after I do that. I start with this one. Okay? And I have two favorite tools. My awl is my favorite tool. I use it all the time. And my tweezers are my favorite tools. I also use the stylus. And I'll show you how I use that. Now, what I'm going to do first is, with the dark side up, I'm going to curl this just a little bit. See how I did that? It's got a little teeny curl to it. See how that's done? And then I'm going to curl the other side. Just a little bit. And the reason why I want to do that is because I want to get a good catch when I put the two pieces together. Now see how that's curled? See that? And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to bring it up and make a cup out of it. And see how that naturally grabs there? When you curl it a little bit, it just naturally grabs. And then the inside will grab. And then you're going to glue that together. I use glossy accents, of course. I love glossy accents. I didn't use it for years. And about 6 months ago I tried it and I loved it. And that's all I use now. Okay. I'm having a hard time because my baby wants attention. So, and obviously I'm going to give him attention because he's my baby. And you would know it doesn't want to come out. Come on now. And when I put the glossy accents on, I only put it at the bottom. I'll show you what I mean after I get this working. You gotta really get this stuff out of here. I'm gonna have to take this apart and clean it. If you guys don't know how to clean these, I'll show you how. Just let me know. Okay. I put a little bit at the bottom. If you can see the glossiness, it's right there. And then I put it together and I hold it together. I don't mind sitting here and holding it together for a few minutes because, well, it doesn't take that long. I'll hold that together and then I'll put that down and then I'll do the next one until all of them are done. Okay, and y'all know how to do that, okay, until they're all done. But when you're done, you're going to have these holes like that. And then what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to set these down in those holes so you don't have to snip the bottom off. And what I also do is I clip the corners a little bit, if you can see that. See that? I hate when I don't know how to do the camera thing. You clip the corners a little bit like that on the side so they do go in. And then you have a little stem at the end. And I do all of them. Plus, when you're done and this dries, let me show you. The part that I put together that's dry, I will fold that down like that. And I will snip that piece off. But don't throw that piece away because you can use that piece. Let me snip this piece off. Baby, you okay? Huh? Okay, see that piece is snipped off. I'll show you why right now. Where's my trusty awl? Where's my awl? Here it is. Now you take this. Because I snipped that piece off, it's easy for me to curl that petal down. if that piece is still on, it would be hard to curl down. And I learned that technique from one of the ladies from YouTube. I can't remember which one it was. If I find her name and website, I'll put it down below and give her the credit she deserves, because it was a great idea. And then you just curl these back with the awl, and then there's your 4 petal. Okay, let me do the 3 petal if I can find it. Here it is. Okay, here's the next one. I'm going to do this. I'm going to curl this up, and it doesn't take long to curl them up, and it makes it look nicer, I think, because it gives it that grab that it needs to grab. Whoopsie-doo. Okay, and then I'm going to curl this one up right there. See how it's curled? And then I always check it before I put the glossy accents on, because I'm left-handed and sometimes you just don't know, you know? Okay, I'm going to put the glue on that side. So let's put the glue down here, and only put the glue on the bottom part so you can snip that top part off, okay? And I don't load it with glue. I put a little bit on there because glossy essence is really good. You don't have to load it, you know. To me, loading, it's just wasting the glue. So let that one dry, and we'll do, and as you go down and put up petals, you're going to realize that it's tougher to roll them, but they do roll. Here's the 3 one. Okay, and we're gonna, because the hole's already punched in the middle here, we're gonna curl this above them, and see, with the hole punched in the middle there, you can use this awl, whereas if it wasn't punched in the middle, you couldn't use that awl that well. That's one of the main reasons why I punched that hole there. And then I'm gonna test this. Okay, and then because since I did the curl, it's going to grab real easily, okay? And I mess with them. And I'm going to put another strip of glue down at the bottom. A little bit, not much. You don't need much for it. I mean, I love glossy accents. Okay, let that sit for a second. And then we're going to do the twoser and the oneser. And here's the twoser. Now, with this one, I'm going to take my awl and I'm going to make a natural curl on both sides. See? I just pull it away so it curls in, and make sure that, the other way. Make sure that when you curl it, that colored side where your purple and that is, or whatever dark color you use, is going on the inside. Now that I soften that paper up a little bit, it's easier for me to do this. See how that goes together real easily? Now I'm going to glue that, and you want to glue this down the side here because you're not going to cut anything off of this one, okay? And this one you want to make sure you get a little bit more glue on there to make sure it sticks really good, okay? Let's get this turned around. I hope I can get this onto, if not, I'll make 2 videos. Okay, now this one takes a little bit more time to hold, but that's okay. If you don't have the time in that, well, we make the time, because it's important, you know? Take your time to do things and do them real well. Okay, and then what I do is I'll take my, because this is hard to get this, take my arm, I push it up, and I take the glue and I push it down with the paper like that to make sure it stays, okay? And I'm probably going to have to finish this on another video, so I'm going to stop here and I'll start the next video, okay?